Hello everyone, it's Sir Manamaton here once again. You know, I'm actually quite a huge fan of RTS-style games. For those that somehow stumbled across this video from the various recesses of YouTube that also doesn't know what RTS means, it stands for real-time strategy. They're like a game of chess, but fun. I'm just kidding. Sort of. That's right, Sir Matto likes a good old thinking game from time to time. Gotta keep the brain box buzzing, if you know what I mean. Gotta feed the brain to keep the mind sharp.
You need to feed your brain, not your ass.
If not, well, that's okay too, I suppose. I'm playing Halo Wars today. As far as proper RTSs go, they're a better experience when played on a PC, where you can do cool things like hotkey units and buildings in order to select and use them quickly, like on a pinch, or have the ability to pinpoint commands to certain units and give sweeping commands to others on a moment's notice. Which are just two of many important cool moves and things that you gotta do that the console simply cannot really efficiently perform. But with that said, Halo Wars, and its more impressive sequel, does a good job at presenting a top-down command-style game on a series of platforms that seem to be nearly devoid of such games. Usually, and remember that usually, quotation fingers, in order to play these games, one needs to implement a variety of different units, tactical movements, and strategic planning in order to achieve glorious success. That's normally what's needed, but not Halo Wars. No. There's only one unit you're ever going to need. One that is so stupidly and stupendously overpowered, it obliterates everything in its path without pity or hesitation. And I love it. That unit would be the Hawk. I know they don't look like much. However, they're basically a futuristic A-10 Warthog, but with a couple of badass lasers slapped on its fuselage. When you have just a handful of them, they're not that strong. They can be killed pretty easily. But when you turn your entire army into a whole squadron of them, well...
Rambo 3-1, you are cleared hot. Oh, yeah!
Enough of me running my drooling mouth about it. Let me show you. The Hawk is a special unit that can only be constructed by Professor Anders. Just to prove how bad to the ass the Hawks are, I'll be playing this on Legendary difficulty, which is normally the difficulty I play on anyway, because I'm a masochist like that. Now, it doesn't matter who your allies are, and it especially doesn't matter who your enemies are. Your allies are just fodder, specifically so in the early game, and the enemies will just become prey. I also chose to have no skulls on for this match, though they can make the game either easier, harder, or a little more crazy if you choose, like the Grunt Birthday Party skull that makes killing Grunt units a little bit more, well, festive. Anywho, when you start the game, you simply have to focus on building a reactor and supply pads to establish a strong economy so you can upgrade your units as fast as you can. Like upgrade your buildings, upgrade your units, ASAP, which Anders has a leader perk that makes that race relatively easier to win compared to other leaders, which is good. Then have some Warthog scouts to gather early resources, then upgrade them to have a gun so that they can actually do something other than just die. Which they're gonna do that anyway, but that's beside the point. They know what they signed up for, like the Soviet Red Army in World War II at Stalingrad. Because admittedly, the only real weakness to this is the fact that you are very vulnerable in the beginning part of the game. So you kinda have to rely on your cannon fodder computer allies for support, unless you have friends to play this game with. I don't have any friends. I'm sad now. Anyway, plus another big perk of having them is that they can give you much needed supplies. Click your supply pads with the left thumbstick, so that's actually pretty sweet. Just gotta knock out a few rebel bases to expand the infrastructure to get more supplies and reactor levels. Now that my base just birthed an air pad, so I have to spam out as many Hornets as I possibly can. Because Hornets actually have a little beef on their bones, unlike the explosive tin cans that are this game's Warthogs. Now I'm not gonna lie to you folks. That's one of the most insulting things about this game to me, is that they took the most iconic vehicle in the whole entire Halo franchise and made it about as sad and pathetic as a nerd on prom night.
This one's for you. She loved it. I can tell. She loved it.
Denied.
So now begins the arduous process of babysitting my idiotic computer teammates. As you can tell, Blue Team is having a little bit of trouble, so I now have to regroup my forces, build them up, and go save the day. At least for the next 5 minutes or so. I don't know. But first you gotta make these idiots chill out for a moment.
Take some ice.
Yeah, I lost an annoying number of Hornets trying to protect my allies here. But as long as the Covenant are attacking them, they're not attacking me, which is allowing me to snag and upgrade a base. That's great news because now I can upgrade, resupply, and produce units at a much faster rate, not to mention the simple safety net of having 2 bases in general. The first thing you have to do is fill your army population with Hornets, because once you upgrade the Hornets to Hawks, they magically poof into Hawks. That being said, the field armory is invaluable when it comes to making units faster and adding reinforcements to your army size. Looks to be my friendos are finally standing up on their own for a moment. That allows me to focus on the more administrative tinkering I gotta do here. Reinforcements is now being researched while I get an alert that the enemy red team is going to try their luck at my base.
Enemy forces inbound to this base.
You serious?
And I can't really reiterate the anxiety that is the early game of this strategy because you basically have to take a defensive position here so you can actually build up your forces. Because you just don't want to throw them away. Because the moment you go help somebody, you might leave your base vulnerable to like some sort of Covenant incursion. With a pinch of luck, the enemies will be too stupid to realize what a sleeping giant you actually are. Oh, great. My allies are crapping the bed again. So I better go send some bleach. Clean that mess up pretty quick. Oh, even better. A scarab. They're sending scarabs now. Both the single strongest unit the Covenant have and the single strongest unit in the whole game. Which almost feels a little redundant to say, but I already said it, so I'm not going back on it. Well, I would be getting a little bit nervous here if my Hawks weren't already ready. Here's a question for you. How long do you think this one scarab is gonna last against this? A, around 30 seconds. B, not very long. C, just kill the damn thing. Or D, all of the above. If you guessed D, you're correct. Congratulations, you observant, well-cultured intellectuals. But the bad thing is, it did a number on my Hawk forces, but not to worry. I can get them back even faster than the enemies can destroy them.
Coming and they don't stop 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 coming and they don't stop.
Just like how the Soviet Union hastily mass-produced T-34s in World War II. If a German Tiger tank had a total of 92 shells in its ammo supply, the Soviets simply made 93 T-34s to counter them. Zap Brannigan would be pleased.
Whatever it is, I'm willing to put wave after wave of men at your disposal. Right, men?
You suck!
Now, as I assert my dominance all over this map, they immediately send out another scarab. Not a problem. Just gotta take a few seconds to regroup. No longer needing the field armory since I got all that I need from it. That scarab will get squished too. As they all will. Now it's yellow team that needs me to babysit them. Now that my Hawks have complete dominion over this battlefield, I plop down yet another base to act as both a buffer to my real bases and to bait the alien morons into a kill zone. While providing close air support, I happened to run into that scarab again. That saved me the trouble of hunting him down. Kerblam, done. Replenish the losses. Really, that big mechanical insect is about the only thing that can kind of slow things down when it comes to achieving total battlefield supremacy. As for everything else, it's like that Ride of the Valkyries scene from Apocalypse Now. Dun 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 dun. Things seem to be going good. Things seem to be going great. Oh wait, another scarab willing to die. Good thing my Hawks are willing to kill it. There we go. You see, I could go on a warpath right now, demolishing their bases and winning handily. But I want to drag things out and destroy as much stuff as possible. Just to really rub salt in the wound. You see this army? Deleted. You see this scarab? Deleted. You see this other scarab? Deleted. You see this base? Deleted. Hawks, property of Sir Madamaton Inc., dishing out the finest of ass whoopings since 2009. They can go just about anywhere on any map, attack fast and from any direction. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. I see that Yellow's army is in a bit of a rough spot. Let's go do some charity work, shall we? Perhaps we can get a sort of tax write-off or something off of helping them. Well, I didn't get there on time to save them, but at least I wiped the floor with the enemies in their memory of them, I guess. But then this happened.
NANI?!
To say I was a little upset about this development is a bit of an understatement. It seemed like I was so focused on tidying up my bases and forces, I sort of failed to realize that I still had to clean up the mess of my allies. It's sort of like I'm the neat freak of the house that's stuck with two roommates that are absolute slobs. Now that one of them has died of asphyxiation due to being buried in his own garbage, and somehow that's my fault. So I send the Hawks out to attempt to deal with one of the enemy teams, in this case it's Purple Team. Then the alien freaks decided to perform an all-out assault against my base. All three armies at once, in fact. I guess I've just been doing something they don't like. I don't know. They threw everything in the kitchen sink at me here. It didn't matter. They died. And I achieved comedy! They even sent 2 scarabs at once. Things just kept on getting crazier and crazier. There was a point where things were getting a little hairy, so I had to sacrifice a supply pad in order to build another air pad to keep my numbers up. They did manage to kill my extra base, though. 'Tis a minor setback. Normally, this would be a very scary situation to be in. Down a base, down an ally, army just got wiped out, and enemies are closing in. It would normally be a pretty hopeless situation, but I'm still not worried. I'm annoyed, but I'm still not worried. This will only show how ridiculously powerful this unit is when I make my triumphant return. And that time is now. They still weren't happy about all of it though, so they tried to do it all again. Now I'm actually starting to get a little upset here. At this point, I'm just hoping my last ally is handling things on his own, because I kinda have a lot on my plate right now, right in this moment. I really can't help him out, so if he's screwed, he's screwed. After that, I decided to fly my birds across the whole battlefield mess and attack their main bases. Alright, let's go be big heroes and shit. You see, if their main bases are destroyed, their reactor levels will drop down big time, their economy will slow down if not completely halt if they don't have any other bases, which will give me a quick and much needed break to attempt to recover from the losses. So the red base went first, squished another scarab, then dealt with the blue main base. Now I have a small window of time to do what is called defeat in detail. Basically, it's a Sun Tzu Art of War type maneuver where you pick apart an enemy piece by piece instead of performing a straight up full frontal assault. 1 base, 2 base, 3, 4. Yeah, I just wasn't having it anymore. Just look at how magnificent they look. Love it. There's a few things more American than overwhelming close air support. Isn't that right, A-10? There's still a little bit of enemy resistance, but it's a sad shadow of what it used to be. The remaining opposing teams and armies started to get obliterated, one by one, until it is done. It's basically like smashing bugs from here up until the end of the battle. Even my remaining ally was able to build up an adorable little army to help crush what was left. Well, I'll give him credit. He survived. Unlike some that I can mention. Oh yeah. Complete and total victory. As to be expected. I don't like to brag, but I lost the fewest number of units, killed the most enemy units, and overwhelmingly destroyed the most enemy structures and bases. Alrighty then, everybody. I hope you liked the video. If you didn't, well, that works too. You watched the video anyway, so thanks. If you like what you see here, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell icon, share the video with some others that may like this too. And it's also very important that you click the like button too, because that's where the YouTube algorithms will notice this video and recommend it to others. But if you do that for me, I'll be greatly appreciated for. And until next time, I'll see you later.